That's the studio right there.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, this is perfect
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So is it attached to your house or is it just kind of like a little out shed kind of?
It's like so that's the house, and then this is this building that our house used to be. So the guy that discovered the plastic patch in the Pacific, the island of plastic trash,
Yeah, yeah.
Charlie Moore, he owned this property and the property next door, and it was all a farm. So we have like some kind of exotic like cherimoya tree back there and a white sapote tree. They're all like kind of crazy like fruit from the from like
Like not native, yeah.
South America. He stored his tractor in this building, and like it was like
Almost like a barn or something.
yeah, so
Oh,
we
cool.
converted it into that, and then we have another little building here that used to be the studio, which is now like an art space.
How did you fix, how are the acoustics in the studio? Now I don't want to go
Oh,
on, but like, how did you
uh,
set it up?
so well, you could see like we've been working on it, and it's acoustics are its own thing. So
Yeah.
we got we're finalizing. So like we just like switched the desk because the desk used to face out this way. There's Scotty
So,
mixing. And like we have the sound insulation, like
yeah.
those are all foam, and then these are sound blankets, and then we
Yeah.
have a cloud
Nice.
above the drum, and then we just okay, so we toured this studio called the Village Studio where like Fleetwood Mac recorded and all this stuff. And there was one studio that had like it was all mirrored. And the
Okay.
only thing that they had over these mirrors was like a cheapo, like
Hmm.
thicker polyester with a thinner polyester like fabric over it.
Hmm.
And it was enough to decrease because it's the distance, it's the space, the air between it
Yeah.
that really does that. So that's what we did over here because the drums
Yeah.
it was like so much bouncing and like just rugs, you know.
Very.
It's pretty dead in here, but it's like it was all concrete and stuff. So yeah, it's its own challenge. We kind of just figured out how to do it. And then we got some gobos from there was a really rad studio in Costa Mesa called the Distillery
Hmm.
that like Black Lips recorded Let It Bloom, and I think Jay Reatard did one of his records there, and we got like inherited a few of their
Oh,
gobos, so it's got kind of pretty. It had a pretty amazing board called. Oh, we can. Yeah, I don't know if this is part of
I know.
it,
I'm sorry. I
but
started this. Yeah.
yeah. But we got a Flickinger clone.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
as
badass.
as part of it, yeah, and like so like it has this like raw like
Yeah.
it kind of makes everything sound crazy because
Hmm.
yeah, it's like this ongoing process.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure.
the the glass doors are really rad because like you'll be recording and then you look outside and you're like, oh yeah, sunshine. Usually when you're in the studio, you're like in a
Yeah.
black hole
That's so true. Yeah, that's a
and
really good experience.
you don't really know what's going on. And I don't know,
Like what
sunshine
day
is
is it? Yeah.
yeah, like light is so important to your circadian rhythms and just to your like
Yeah.
well-being. And so it's kind of
Yeah.
really nice. You'll be like, oh, whoa, look at that. And there's a cat.
Yeah. It's like a little bird.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, cool. I'm so excited to talk to you about this album. I love this album, and I think my
Thank you.
copy is in the route to me, so I'm really excited to get it.
Oh, thank you so much for saying
Um,
that.
yeah, and congratulations. I just like I said, this is such a beautiful, like haunting album, and I've really enjoyed spending a lot of time with it. How do you feel that it's like now out in the world? I don't think people kind of like sometimes may not realize how long the process is of like when you're actually writing the song and then you could get the collection of the songs and then you record the songs and then you have to mix them and master them and then there's the whole like business aspect to it. And so by the time it actually is out in the world, you've had a lot of different experiences, I feel like, with it. So yeah, how does it feel to have it, finally out on its own?
Yeah, it's really cool. I really enjoy the way that we released it this time, where it was like
Yeah.
very personal. It was like a personal connection with the people like listening, and it wasn't on streaming and anything like that. So I think a chance to kind of tiptoe into the release. Yeah, it's funny, like you said, you almost forget what songs are on there. Like I had to register some things and I had to get the record and be like, what are the songs on here? Like what like get such a distance from it. But yeah, no, like I'm really happy. I'm happy people are like enjoying it, but it's also kind of like just the feat of finishing one. I mean, there's something about just the feeling of finishing a record. It's like closing a chapter. It's like all I've done a lot of like, reviewing of my catalog or whatnot. Um, and it just becomes so obvious how like every record is dealing with a certain time in my life, like a certain, I wouldn't say like maybe a drama, not trauma, but drama, like something the dramatic that happened, or it's like dealing with certain phases in my life. And this one was a very particular one of like sort of dealing with and a lot of the songs, which is neat for Julia, like I'll write them while I'm in the studio. So I'll take a combination of older songs that I've kind of worked out, like Bound is something I wrote in 2015, like when we were recording Nosebleed Weekend. And then I paired it with some of the things that were like more like obviously of this time. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean I can babble on about it, but it just feels really good, and that like now I can move on to
Yeah.
something else. Like now I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the next one because that chapter is like dealt with. And it's really funny because I do think a lot of like whatever frustration, emotion, it's almost like it like relaxes.
Yeah.
It like
It's like a
relaxes
release.
that tense muscle. There's
Yeah.
like a muscle that's tense and you're like, oh, what do I do? And can't believe this happened. And then once you like release the record and you finish it, you're like, ah, well, that's over with.
Yeah.
Dealt with that one and
Yeah,
moving
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
cool.
that's
It's like a release. Well,
hmm
one thing you told me a while ago about the record that I really love is you said it was a record for humans, which
yeah.
I love that line. Because it has like, it's not like AI polished or, super sleek and produced. It's just like it has character. Why is that important to you in your work, and why did you decide to kind of make this record in that way?
Think most of like the time before now, everyone was trying to attain perfection,
Yeah.
and I spent a lot of time in studios trying to, sound as good as a computer would, like and then all of a sudden it was just like, well, what I love about records is like the weird little quirks in it, and like where like the people are talking before they start, or
Yeah.
like just
Yeah.
stuff like that, little nuggets of like reality, and not necessarily like the perfect polished song, although that there's an art to that as well. So I wanted to also allow myself to be human.
Mm.
It's like a record for humans, that because we're all sort of flawed,
Hmm.
you know and but it's also for me to sort of relax and not have to like, and just be like, well, this is what I sound like and this is
Yeah.
what I play like, and oh, there's a little thing right there and it's like okay, and all it catches your ear, and that's okay too, because there's something about perfection that almost is unnoticeable, like when you like listen to hotel lobby songs, you don't really, there's nothing that catches. It's so like perfectly
Yeah.
perfect that it you don't really pay attention to it.
There's like
And
a
so
distance level.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's made for background, and this isn't
Yeah.
really made for background. It's made for like an experience. And I also like sort of thought about what I felt like when I was 19. I don't know, this age of 19 is really like important to me. I think that's when I discovered music really outside of the high school realm. You go to college
Mhm.
and you just sort of like everything like clicks, and you put it on and you're like, what did they say?
Yeah.
Like sort of this real connection. And I was hoping to sort of facilitate that in my
What was some
private
of the
thoughts.
music that you were listening to at that time?
So I listened to Cat Power, You Are
Oh, hell
Free,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
nonstop. That record, I mean, I listened to Radiohead a lot, a lot, a lot. But then I also like discovered sort of punk. Like I love the makeup so
Mm.
much, like DC kind of. And like so this one I kind of discovered Fugazi too. And that talk about like imperfection. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was like, what at first you're like, what is this? And then you're like, oh my God, what is this? You
Yeah.
know, and like bands like 15, I don't even know if you remember that band, but like that is like a guy was just singing, just oh, I saw Daniel Johnston
Dude.
play.
Yeah.
And he had like this when he was still playing the guitar and he had all like the frets, all the like, A, B, C, D, whatever on the frets. And he was just like, oops, I messed up. And I was like, yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
I want that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he's probably it's like a need to create that goes beyond this, like, oh, I want this, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the Guitar Center kind of vibe. It's
Yeah.
like nothing wrong with that, but
Sure.
that's what really inspired me. It was like just soft and hard, but like all with
Mhm.
character and kind of like seem to not care,
Yeah.
seem to not care what other people, what like the popular thing was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's always the way some of the music that I admire the most is created, like not necessarily fitting the mold of what is happening at the time. And just like, yeah, like Daniel Johnson's such a great example of that. And like I got to see him one of his last shows before he passed away in New Orleans. And this jazz band Preservation Hall played with him and it was just like so incredible and he was just amazing. That's awesome. I miss that time. Like what a special time to be in college and just like discovering so many bands for the first time.
Yeah, I think like how I had so many like ideals, like
Mhm.
and when we started playing with coat hangers, I was just like screw this and screw
Yeah,
that and
yeah.
that and like and then over the years all my hard edges got like smoothed over by just the experience of being in it and you're like, well, I used to like really call out things I didn't like and now I'm like, oh no, it's I'm like such a softie. I'm like, well, we're trying, and like you give us miss that. And I kind of wanted to get that back, like a
Mm,
little bit of like, no, I don't like that,
yeah.
kind of like you have to be so polite.
Yeah.
Everything has to be so polite now,
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I
older.
feel like that has been a trend in a lot of like indie music for a while, and I feel like we're kind of getting out of that now, but it has been, I feel like, a safe trend of safe music
Hmm.
where everything's just polite and nice and like fine. Now, I don't think your record is like that at all, but
Thanks.
yeah, I agree. I understand what you're talking about. But like as someone who's been like a part of a band and a collective energy for a lot of your career, how does like stepping out on your own feel different and like when you write just solo, like how is that experience different from, being with a bunch of people and bouncing ideas off the wall?
I mean, a lot of the songs I would like, I have like I mentioned before, but like I have like over 1,000 phone recordings on my phone, right? Of like, I'm like, I'll just be there, when the spirit strikes or whatever, and it comes in like cycles. I'll be like, oh, I gotta go, and I run into the other room and I record something. Yeah, it's like so. I'm like, I can't even talk to you. This is more important, got to catch it. And so I have always done that, and I would split
Yeah.
it up in my phone between it, like, okay, like this is for this and this is for that. And I always kind of separated it out. Just knowing what the vibe is of the band or whatever and seeing if I could speed it up. But I think working by myself, like I kind of needed it because I was so collaborating for so long.
Yeah.
And then you kind of start assigning credit and blame to
Mm,
other people for things that you probably are, how we mirror ourselves and other people. So like it was really good. It's really good for me to sit by myself and be like, well, what can I do personally in this? And like, what does this sound like
mhm,
when I just when playing it? And I love having that control over the solo project where it's like
mhm.
final say is mine. But I do get pretty sick of myself by the end of it. And I'm just like, I need to talk to someone. Someone needs to give me an idea because you do tend to like cycle within your own wheelhouse.
Mhm. And like
And
maybe you could potentially overwork something because you're just too in your head. I feel like at least I
yeah,
probably do that.
yeah, like you're inside of it. And it's really nice to have people that you trust
Hmm.
come in and not I find it, you can't just bring anybody in because then they'll start like really taking you off track. If it's just your friend that is like, well, you should do this, and you're like, whoa, 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 where are we going? But
Yeah.
like if you bring like trusted people in, they could really help you because they look at you differently. They look at the music differently. They have different references of what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
I just had this experience and it was really, really good. But yeah, like I enjoy working by myself a lot. But right after that, I'm like, I'm really tired of my own thoughts and my own patterns. And yeah, it's just like with the Julia project, it's just the only place that I can really be completely sincere because
Mm.
it's just really only just for me,
Yeah.
in some ways, like just really vulnerable because it's just me in the room.
Yeah.
And then
Very
when I play it for other people, I'm like, oh my God, I really just said that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you did record it in your beautiful studio behind you. And it was partially released on your own label, Happy Sunday.
Yeah.
Like how that feels like the dream. Yeah, how was that process like working so independently on your own and like how did you create your own schedule? And like I know you're a very hardworking person and like but you have so much creative energy. Like how was the process of like making this record on your own studio, partially your own label? Like that's just awesome. Like how is that different for
Thanks.
you?
Well, you have to be like more disciplined. I find that because if the studio is here, then when you're recording somewhere else, you're like, oh, okay, I have to prepare. I have 4 days, boom, boom, boom. And then when it's here, you're like,
Yeah.
so you have
Yeah.
to be a little more disciplined about like getting in there and really being prepared for it. And yeah, like I like to record like completely by myself. So that's cool because then I get to learn about engineering and
Yeah.
really like different microphones and a lot of things that I never really took interest in and I kind of let other people decide up until like really Nosebleed Weekend when Nick kind of pulled us in more about like recording. And I think that I mean that shapes the sound of everything. So that's an important skill set. And the DIY thing is it's kind of almost how you have to go about things now. There's not the same kind of the industry's changed a lot as
Yeah.
far as where the income comes from and how the budgets work and everything. So as fun as it is, it's also just like a part of the necessity of working in the landscape where, yeah, like with streaming and all that. The streaming really like yeah, the decrease in the royalty rates. But I also think that you can't be as lazy. You just show up and this just happens for you. So a lot more people were involved in making it happen. You have to be like a little bit more on it, a little bit more curious about how things work and a little more curious about how labels work. So this is an interesting thing for like the label to be involved and to have this idea of like maybe putting out other artists and what the label role is,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know,
Which
because
I feel
it's
like is changing a lot all the time.
I think labels are super important in many ways because they're like the last curators of, it's cool to do DIY and self-release, and I think that's like, but I've always enjoyed working with the labels that I've worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And I always do think that it's like sort of dependable source. You can go to a certain label and be like, okay, well, it's probably pretty good, or it's probably in like something I would like, and maybe you won't, but at least it's like a source now that like a lot of the media is gone. So like
Yeah.
there's not really like a taste making, like where Spin Magazine used to be the thing that you would go and find stuff. Now you have to like kind of trust in a label because I'm not on Spotify, so I don't engage in the playlist, which I think a lot of the people find music that way now. But I kind of just go to either people that I trust their musical opinion. Like when I
Hmm.
was 19, people do say,
Yeah.
"Oh, this band," and
Or like make
check
you a
out this band.
CD. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I still love that when people do that, but then we're so online. So like that's where like I follow a bunch of labels just to see
Hmm.
how they're what they're doing and what's coming out. And I
Yeah.
think, labels like Suicide Squeeze and Partisan, I think that they you can kind of go check in with them and see what's going on. That's cool.
Yeah, it's nice to have labels like, there's a handful of them that are really, really special and really great. And I think it's good for artists to have that kind of like team behind you because it can be so internal. And like you said, just spending so much time with yourself. It's nice to have people that are going to be there to kind of like support you and, do some of the really terrible background things that you have to do. Or not terrible, just tedious.
Tedious. And I mean, again, I love the team. I miss the team. The team
Yeah.
is a great thing to have. It's a collaboration
Yeah.
on navigating a really weird business. It's always been a weird business, but it's getting weirder.
Yeah, seriously. Well, how do you think like this record, your this solo record is compared to your first solo record? Like what has changed and how do you feel like this record is, I mean, I know it's behind you now and you're kind of moving on, but how do you feel that Sugaring a Strawberry, like what did it paint for you as a moment in your time, like creatively, personally, artistically?
Well, derealization was like I was seriously felt like I was losing my mind, and I was like every song felt like I won a battle with like because I was suffering from I think like maybe overworked vocal cords or something, but I was
Mm,
having a very hard time singing.
mm,
And I just really thought I had pitch deafness. I had ear tests done, like, and so finishing that one, that was just like, okay,
like Mount
you know?
Everest, yeah.
Yes. And then it came out and I was like, whoa, wow, like, okay, that happened. And I really kind of found myself with Sugaring a Strawberry. I was stretching, I was like, okay, cool. And then let's get some instrumentation and let's get some stuff. And like I really started playing. Like in the kid sense of like, okay, and this song is this. And like for the cover, like my mom was here and she bought the
Aw.
strawberries and she wrote the Julia Julia
Oh, that's so
on the record.
beautiful. I love
I
that font. I just figured you did it, but that's awesome.
know. I just asked my mom to write it. And so that was such a cool, special bonding
Yeah.
thing of like having, because like no one has really, my mom has influenced even my musical taste. Like she is
Aw.
like a music junkie. And
Oh, that's so
so that was like, it's so much lighter.
hmm.
Sugaring a Strawberry, even the title, it's like
Hmm.
some kind of like dream vacation where everyone's just like laughing and sugaring strawberries. I don't know. It has like,
Yeah.
it just has a lightness to it. And I think even the approach with the label and like the approach of the release, it was like experimentation and something way more joyful,
Yeah.
And that makes me excited for the next one, I'm thinking maybe like just like really acoustic
Oh,
guitar, like
oh, that would be
stripped
cool.
back.
Yeah.
And kind of with a time limit, like
Mm,
not too indulgent, like maybe just come in and like that I've been practicing already, like really rehearse and just go in there and like play them. And maybe that's it, like I'm really gotten over a lot of anxiety and a lot of like
mm,
self-consciousness or
mhm.
whatever and have a lot more confidence. And so
Yeah.
that's Sugaring a Strawberry is like this coming out, this
Yeah.
blossoming, if you will, where derealization was like trying to figure out who I
Baby
was.
steps. Yeah, yeah, kind of
Yeah,
just
if I could actually like do this,
yeah.
or if it was all like a big joke. If my life had just been a joke.
No. Um, but going back to like your prior roots, kind of like rooted in the punk ethos, I feel like you still have that, even though it's softer now. How do you still resonate with that or yeah.
Oh yeah, because I don't to me punk is not a style of music, it's an
Yeah.
attitude. It's like Blondie is considered
Yeah.
punk, but
Yeah.
it's not punk. It's just Debbie Harry, and everyone has just got that punk attitude. And
Mhm.
like, and so always and forever inspired by that. Always and forever trying to look at the opposite side and see
Yeah.
like, yeah, really, you know, and trusting in my reality of situations and oh yeah, I mean that's it. Like now I see bands and I
What
just
are your
want to be
favorite
like,
bands right now?
well, I love idols. I think, that they're like, and this new soundtrack they did was like so much more post-punky. I'm like a
Yeah.
post-punk junkie.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was punk is actually post-punk, where
Mhm.
they were like doing breaking the rules, dropping out. Like,
Mhm.
I love that. So, who else? Okay. I just ventured into my pop foray, like the Lily Allen record. Oh my
Don't
God.
get me started on the Lily Allen record, dude.
I
Yeah.
am so, that's pretty punk.
Dude, the narration just straight up nothing rhymes, just spitting truth. Like I know I'm really into it
Because
right now.
I'm not like a pop person
No.
necessarily, but that felt like I was like, oh damn.
Anytime someone does something different that I'm kind of like almost turned off on at first, I'm like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. That's the last record I kind of like actually listened to all the way through, and I love that it's a record. It's
Yeah.
also like a
Yeah.
nice shift for people to remember as like thought, a complete thought,
Yeah.
instead of like
Very
singles.
cohesive record too. Like
Yes,
you
yeah,
listen to it from top to bottom and you're just like,
yes.
oh, dude.
And you get the full story.
Yeah.
So, that's the one thing I can look at my phone and see what I've been looking up
Yeah,
recently.
yeah.
I've kind of also been going back to like old things that I used to listen to, like been really enjoying some Tori Amos myself.
Right.
Like
Hell yeah.
that's like 19-year-old me for sure. That
Yeah.
angst. And I think she's pretty punk too in like her subject matter and
Yeah.
delivery. And like she
Yeah.
was breaking a lot of so that's what I'm drawn to. I can't new bands. There's a lot of really cool bands coming out of Long Beach. So we do that festival and
Yeah.
Long Beach has its own like there's a really sick band called Ologist that is like it's like always kind of weird. Again, the
Mhm.
post-punk thing. It's like I love when people do like kind of weird stuff. Yeah. I
Cool.
yeah, I think that's all I got.
You decided to choose a Leonard Cohen song to end the album. Why did that feel like the right final note to like kind of end everything?
Well, we share a birthday
Oh, awesome.
and saw him one time and it was like the most amazing
Nice.
amazing concert of my life, even though the person next to me was singing all the songs simultaneously, but she was having a great time. I love him. And it's kind of a dream. It was such a dream to be able to say those words. It's
Mhm.
kind of like I feel about Gun Club in some ways. It's such a dream to use that language. I
Mhm.
wish I'd written those words, and I love his poetry. And so that was just kind of an homage
Mhm.
to someone I love. And yeah, I
And you,
don't, I never really do covers on stuff.
yeah, but you can
So
because it's your solo album. You can do
yeah, exactly. And it
it.
was like, well, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. That's really funny. Gosh, well, I'm running out of questions. It's been so nice to talk
Oh
to you.
yeah.
One of my favorite parts on this album, though, is from that song I Know. And it's
Mhm.
kind of when you just repeat the line, like, but I'm a fighter now. I don't know why, I just like resonated with that so much. Do you remember like where that line came from or like what it felt like when you first kind of sang it?
Was on this couch right there.
Uh-huh.
And I had my acoustic guitar because I was like, do I even know how to play acoustic guitar? Okay, so again, I was like figuring out who I was. And I was like, okay, and I have a video of this happening, and all the words came at once. All
Mm,
of it came at once. It came out of nowhere. And I was talking to a bunch of people actually from my past, and I was like, for a long time, I think I was so eager to help that I forgot to like sort of stand up for myself in some ways.
Hmm.
And I just remember saying that line and just it came, I'm a fighter now. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fight. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Like now I'm it's a very emotional line. I'm
Yeah.
so excited you resonated with it
Yeah.
because it was like that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna fight for myself. I'm gonna fight
Yeah.
for like and not in like a negative fight way, but like
No, yeah.
sort of stand up for myself. Yeah, like I love that song because you just gotta like, like let go. It's this balance between letting go and holding on to whatever is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I love the reprieve, like you'll always be mine. And uh, but that doesn't mean we gotta be together. And that's like true for people that have passed away,
Mm-hmm.
true for like a lot of relationships. You like hold on to them and they make you stronger.
Hmm.
Sometimes getting through them or getting whatever just makes you stronger. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love that song.
Me too.
There's Thank you so much for noticing that. And like you could see it in the delivery of it. I'm almost like a little kid going like, "Well, I'm a
Yeah.
fighter now.
And it's like you
Yeah,
have
I'm
to say it
fighting."
the way that I felt it. I was like, you got to keep saying it to like, no, I am.
Yeah.
Like by the
Yeah, I
end, you're like,
am.
no, I definitely am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I believe in like, mantras and all
Hmm.
that stuff. And I've been sort of reprogramming my brain from being doomsy to
Hmm.
being more positive. And I think, that's a difficult thing to do
Yeah.
considering some of the things happening. But
Yeah.
but it's kind of, we're post the midterm election and now
Yeah.
it's kind of pretty good.
Dude, pretty good. Pretty good.
So
Also,
yeah.
anytime good change is made, I feel like there's always a fight that has to happen. So, see.
Yeah. So it goes along with everything. Everything's a micro and macro
Hmm.
of almost the same ideology just taking place and like yeah, don't give up sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Have hope always, even though it's, hard.
It's I think, that's there's like a quote, maybe Camus, where he's like the best thing you can do and is to just be as free as possible. Like optimism is a
Choice. Yeah.
radical choice at
Hmm.
some point. And like it's
Don't
I think
let the
right now it
bastards,
just feels like yeah, it is
don't
like
let
the
them
most
get you
radical.
down.
It's kind of the most punk thing you can do,
Yeah,
you know?
true, actually, in this climate.
Yeah, right now.
Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
It's been so nice. I just love this record. Everyone needs to get this record. It's so good. Sugaring a Strawberry is out now. Thank you, Julia.
Yeah, thank
Hope
you
you
so
have
much.
a great
Yeah,
rest of your day, and I can't
you
wait to
too.
see what you have next in store.
Yes. Well, it's gonna be amazing. All
Dude, it's gonna be even better. All
right. Well, have
right,
a good day.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.